Thank you.
Now, if you were to get some books at home here, just like, you don't have to have read the books 1 through 4.
Yes. For those of you who may not have heard what we were talking about, is Rob's book, which is book 5, does not mean that you have to have read books 1, 2, 3, and 4. Thank you. So, we're going to be starting fall membership class. And this is a September thing that's coming up. So, just to let you know, the book that we'll be using is the 5 Principles. That is the anchor text that you'll be using. And copies of that will be starting on September the 3rd, correct?
Yeah, we'll have the book available.
The books will be available on September the 3rd. So, 6 Wednesdays, starting September 27th, the end of September, and this will be following the Wednesday night meditation. So you'll go from the meditation to the membership class, and it's hybrid. You can be here in the sanctuary or online watching and observing and praying from home. Everyone is welcome. And now it is time for the daily word. Join me as we say this prayer. I join with others to build a peaceful world. One more time. I join with others to build a peaceful world. The world's problems can feel so overwhelming and its needs so great that I may wonder how my individual efforts could make much of a difference. But every action I take can contribute to world peace. I remember there are people throughout the world who feel the way I do. So many are doing what they can to bring light and love to their neighborhoods and communities. I feel comforted realizing I am not alone in my efforts. Peace begins with each person and inspires others as it spreads, uniting all the world's peoples to live and thrive in harmony and cooperation. We are meant to live in peace. I hold that vision and offer compassionate service as a way to make my dream for the world peace a reality for all of us. And from Romans, let us then pursue what makes for peace and for mutual upbuilding. Let's say one more time together. I join with others to build a peaceful world. Amen. And thank you.
And welcome, Faerie, Elaine.
Good morning. So this is a little congregational song on chorus, and the words of the chorus are, there is only one of us, there is only one of us, ashes to ashes and dust to dust, there is only one of us. It'll come around a few times. When I'm using my conscious mind, I'm generous and I'm kind. When I'm listening to my heart song, it's easy to remember that we all belong
one of the things that I want to remind us of is that in this welcome, whether you've been coming here for a long, long time, or you are newer to this community, and no matter where you are in your spiritual journey, your life journey, you are warmly welcomed with all of you here. Are all of ourselves kind of bump up against each other once in a while because we are fully human in our fully divinity selves. But this is a welcoming community. And we're a praying community. So if you are a prayer chaplain and you're here today, could you wave your hand or stand up? We have usually a couple of people. We're working on getting that, a little bit more steadily organized. But one of the things that is beautiful about our prayer chaplaincy is that there are many ways you can let them know that you have a joy or a concern that you would like somebody to walk with you in that. And so a prayer chaplain after church can sit in the back with you and pray with you if you'd like that. That membership class is open to all. That is a refresher for people who have been a part of this community for a long time. It is a new way of doing that, very similar to how we did the Four Agreements book study this fall. We'll have a chapter a week kind of a thing, and we'll have an overview in the beginning of that, and then there'll be time for small group discussion, either on Zoom or in the room, and then time to bring both of those groups. It will test my hybrid teaching skills, but I did teach in hybrid world for a year, so it comes in good stead here. So join us for that if you're curious to know more about who we are as a community, or you just want to deepen your understanding of what those unity principles are. One of the beautiful things about being a praying community is that we are also a community that puts our prayers into action. Diane Tuchman, would you mind standing up as the head of the board liaison of the Unity Cares Committee? So Diane is working with Jordan Musides to revamp this. We have a number of ways that Unity Cares team can help support you if you need it. One is by joining in that prayer, but it might be that you just need somebody to give you a phone call once in a while. You're in the hospital and you want a get well card. We also have a very practical way to step in to help community members. And we have a beloved friend, Donna, who has had a lot of bumps along her health journey, and our support would be really most welcomed for her. We have her permission to announce this right now, just so you know. We will never announce about you without your direct permission. Donna had surgery, and her lovely mother came up from Florida to help her, and her mom got COVID. So they could use some gluten-free meals and things like that. So after the service, you could reach out to either Deb Segrist, who's in the back is one of our ushers today, or to Diane, and they can help connect the dots for our friend Donna. Last week I announced our friend of Albany, Archie, and a time of remembering at the UU. I mistakenly, luckily, gave you the day ahead of when it is actually happening, because that is happening today at 1 o'clock at the UU Church. Everyone is welcome. If you have a story or a memory, you're welcome to come prepared to share that, and there is a gathering afterwards. So that's at 405 Washington Avenue. All right. I think that's all of the announcement-y things I have. My cheat sheet so I don't forget. But it is a gift to look around this room and see familiar faces, to see returning faces, to see new friends. And we take that gift in here when we gather in person, and we also feel the presence of you beloveds who are watching live right now, or who will be listening to the recording later in the week. Because that is the gift of this community. It's what happens when we gather. to hold on to that vision, to see with new eyes where we are directing our prayers, our hearts, our steps, our hands. And so I invite you to take a breath in and pause and bring to mind one of those situations in the world that cries out for peace. Maybe it's a situation in your own life that you are wrapping in peace. And as you hold that in your heart mind, we come in trust to knowing that even in this space where we are not saying aloud what our vision is, what we're holding, that together we help each other hold that watch to breathe new life into this vision that we say every week as a prayer and as a call. And so will you say with me, we envision a world transformed through the spiritual awakening of all. And again, breathing in now. To what does it mean to awaken spiritually to our call, to our vision? To walk the path of our mission together. It matters. It matters. And so again, we hold together, breathing in, strengthening each other for this journey. As we say the words of our mission, we awaken to and embrace the divine essence of all beings through prayer and service in our world and in the world. And again, breathing in together, sensing the oneness that is always present, but that sometimes our eyes and our hearts and our minds are clouded, and we don't land in that oneness. So as we land this morning together in this beautiful experience of oneness, hear these words as the blessing that they are that call forth the opening of our eyes and our hearts to know that we don't do this alone. And let us say together, the power of Christ's love now releases me from any sense of separation from spirit or others. There is only one presence and one power in my life and in the universe, the all-loving goodness of God. And so it is. Amen. I'm going to ask you to consider something. I know when we hear this beautiful music that there is a natural kind of, you want to do this, right? It's a natural reaction. We hear the song and we want to applaud the musicians. But our musicians are not performing. They're offering their prayers through song, and they're pulling us in. Now that impulse is a beautiful impulse, and especially at the end. Tonight at the concert, when you come back at 7 o'clock, you should, of course, applaud for Elaine after every single song. But here in this service, play with what happens if you take the energy that wants to swell out in gratitude to do this and do this. Bring that upswell of energy in. And let that music be a prayer that lifts you into the service, but you feel that upswell and that resonance back and forth, I think will be a really holy experiment this morning. Now let's sing again.
All right, we could try that out. I'd actually like to do a little bit of a meditation with you. And it's the idea of choice. because today is all about breakdowns to breakthroughs. And there is only one power and one presence in and of the universe. But sometimes that one power and that one presence can be distorted when the human ego gets involved, because we are divine beings and we are also human beings. Yeah, I need a mic. We're going back to the 70s. While we're doing that, I've been in touch with Reverend Crystal. Remember Reverend Crystal? And she says hello. She's down in Florida. She's in Fort Myers, and I'm going to be working with her twice this fall.
That's great to hear.
All right, we're dancing on stage. That's too far over because I'm going to be right here. Okay. And then we got to plug her in.
Now you can bring the volume on that down. 7.
Now I got to fix it. Okay. I got to be comfortable here. All right. So, we're talking about breakdowns and breakthroughs and listening to the choices, because we're always that choice. We are always that choice when we tune into the universal voice, but it takes discipline to listen into the universal voice. And there's a universal choice. It's the love in the universal voice, but it takes discipline to listen into the universal voice. You can get really quiet and tune in when we feel those impulses. It may be a voice, it may just be a feeling. But that is that universal sound of the Spirit. The universal voice is still and small. The universal voice answers every call. This comes from within, below, and above, as the sacred sounds of love. The universal voice brings us knowing. The universal voice keeps us growing. The universal voice sets us free to roam, as the universal sound of Om. That's the universal sound of creation. We're going to do 3 ohms. Om. You can do them with me. Om. And one more time. We are always a choice when we tune into the universal voice, but it takes discipline to listen in to the universal voice. It takes discipline to listen into the universal voice. That's nice. So today, actually, I need a little sip of my tea. From breakdown to breakthrough. Now, actually, I heard Michael Beck was talking last night about you can have an epiphany. You know, all of a sudden there's a knowing and you know what to do or you know what to be or how to, you just know. And it could be a real awakening to a brand new way of being. That could be considered a breakthrough. But most of the time when we have a breakthrough, it's followed by a breakdown. Anybody realize that? Right? You know, it's like, oh, it gets so bad that we break through. It's like we hit bottom and we fall through and then there's a new top. So I want to define breakdown. It's a mechanical failure, like the car stops running, a chemical or physical decomposition of something, the breakdown of ammonia to nitrates. A failure of a relationship or system. Some people experience marital breakdown or communication breakdown. Communication breakdown sometimes leads to a marital breakdown. And a collapse of physical or mental health, like a nervous breakdown. And this morning we're just going to be addressing the ideas of the emotional and spiritual breakdowns and personal challenges. They can be big or small, but so real when we're going through them, you know, and then to have empathy for other people. Everybody's pain is real, even though it might seem like nothing, oh, well, my pain's bigger than yours, but everybody's is real. And the definition of a breakthrough is a sudden, dramatic, and important discovery or development, an instance of achieving success in a particular sphere of activity. And it could be one of these sudden aha moments, such as an epiphany. But as I said, I'm referring to the hitting bottom. We could be at the end of our rope when it appears hopeless. And at that point, we may just let go and let God into a new awareness. You know, we can turn it over. We're no longer trying to control the situation. There's nothing else to do but just surrender. And we can surrender and allow what is. All suffering is when we don't want it to be the way it is. That's every single suffering. We want it to be other than what we're given. And we can always say, God, you take this from me. You can let God and then let go. By remembering that God is all there is, and then unifying in consciousness, God and I are one, because we're always one with our source. We're extensions and expressions of this infinite power. Like, let's say it's a big sun, and each one of us is one of the infinite rays that comes off of it. So each one of us is made of that divine substance. You could call it God, you can call it light, energy, higher power, whatever it is that works for you. All of us are made of that. Now, I can say I'm made of God, all of me is God, but I'm not all of God. So that's kind of an easier way to see that. All of me is God, but I'm not all of God. But when we're in that place of God and I are one, we have the backing and the power of the entire universe. And we can affirm it and we can punctuate it with an Om, the universal sound of creation. And a grateful heart, knowing that anything is possible with Source. You know, and even if we have a very clear intention of something that we'd like to have manifest or continue to manifest, it's like, okay, this or something better. Because I know I don't want to limit Source. This or something better. You just never know what's going to happen. So back in, it was New Year's Eve day, 2014, and I woke up and I couldn't couldn't hear out of my right ear. That's kind of a hard thing to have happen to a musician, to not be able to hear out of. I can hear a little bit, and it still hasn't improved, and I've done all kinds of things, lasers and chiropractic, and I don't know. So I've kind of surrendered to it, but it really brought me down. I mean, I was just kind of like, I just didn't know what was going to happen, and I wasn't happy with the results that I had. And at some point, I went to an event. I guess I was performing at a thing called, it was called the Church of Eternal Life. And it's where they have a lot of psychic people come, and they talk to dead people. And that's fine, it's not really my thing, but they love my music, so of course I'm going to go and sing for them and with them. And Vicki White comes up to me. Now, she had known me 20 years before that, and she said, I want to give you a reading. She's one of these very well-known in Palm Beach County readers. I want to give you a reading. She says, when I first met you like 20 years ago, you were this fairy with all this energy flitting around, and now something's going on. I want to give you a reading. So I'm like, okay. And if you want to give me a reading, fine. I'd love to have a reading. So the next day we had a phone reading, and I sort of kept interrupting her because I had questions. But the gist of the reading was, your guides are telling me to tell you to listen to them. I'm like, okay, listen to my guides. It takes discipline to listen in, so okay, I'll listen to my guides. And I went to my table, and this song came out. It came out really fast. And the second line is really the whole idea. It's it. But it's called Love and Light to You. So I'll sing a line, and then we sing, love and light to you. That happens a whole bunch of times. I think we have a little bit too much reverb or treble on this. Okay. So I can hear the guitar pick. Life is happening in a moment. Love and light to you. That's your part. Know that all is as it should be. Love and light to you. Love and light to you. Love and light to you. Love and light is true. Love and light to you. Love and light to you. Love and light to you. Now I enter into stillness. Love and from the center comes the goodness. Love and light to you. Here's us. Love and light to you. Love and light is true. Love and light is true. Love and light to you. Love and light to you. Love and light to you, love and light to you. See all of creation, move in transformation. Love and light is true, love and light to you. Feel the inspiration, move into co-creation. This insight is true, love and light to you. It's about the journey, not the destination. It's about the joy and the celebration. Love and light, love and light to you. Love and light is true. Love and light to you. Love and light to you. See all of creation, move into transformation. Love and light is true. Love and light to you. Feel the inspiration, move into co-creation. This insight is true. Love and light to you. Life is happening in the moment. Here it is. Know that all is as it should be. Love and light to you. Love and light to you. Love and light is true. Love and light is true. Love and light to you. 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 Yeah, there you go. You could also do this. Yeah. That uses up a little bit more energy. I think sometimes you want to have some energy. So it's that idea of letting go or letting God and then letting go. And I wrote this song called I Let God, because that's what it's about. You know, when we're in that place of a breakdown, and we just surrender. And we're open. And my favorite question to ask the universe is, what do I need to know? You know, I had a hard time with the vaccine. You know, I didn't get the vaccine in 2020, 2021. And, you know, some of my friends were shunning me, and it didn't feel very good, you know? It just didn't feel right. And then the icing on that cake was when I had a few places say, well, you can't perform here unless you're vaccinated. And it wasn't like I was against it or for it, but I didn't know enough about it. And so I went into meditation because I really didn't know what to do. And I have 4 siblings who are all anti-vaxxers. They're chiropractors. I mean, so I have all this coming from different ends. And so I just said, what do I need to know? And I went into a meditation. And do you all know who Alan Cohen is? Some of you know who he is. He's a wonderful writer. And I've worked with him in the 90s. I worked with him a lot, traveling with him. And I was in Hawaii at his, he had a mastery course. And I said, just come out. And he got me some gigs at the Unity and the Science of Mind Search. And I did the whole mastery program with him. And I really want to get a hold of those principles. I remember 2 of them. One is spirit is the true reality. And the other one was what I heard his voice say in my meditation. All of a sudden, I'm like, what do I need to know? And I hear Alan Cohen's voice say, let it be easy. Like, oh, let it be easy. Oh, what's the path of least resistance? Get the vaccination. So my husband and I went and got it. We got the 1 year done. That's it. I'm done. I'm not getting any more. But I got it. And then as soon as I got it, I had a little breakthrough in awareness of, you know, we say that God is all there is. Well, if God is all there is, of course, God or spirit or source is in the prayer. But it's also in the pill. And it's also in the vaccine. So, and as soon as I realized that, I felt so much better about it. It was, yeah. And nobody really talked to me about it. It wasn't any big deal. It was just something I did, and I know that I'm perfect, whole, and completely healthy, so I didn't have any side effects that I know of. But to just let go and let God come in, to listen. So this goes like this. This can be your part. I let God, then I let go, releasing into source. Let's try that part. I let God, then I let go, releasing into source. When I let go and I let God, I'm on a sacred course. Let's try that part. When I let go and I let God, I'm on a sacred course. I get out of the way as I open up to this or something more. I get out of the way as I allow the flow to enter my front door. Here's us. I let God, then I let go, releasing into source. When I let go and I let God, I'm on a sacred course. There is power in the presence and the oneness of us all. There's the truth and there's the essence that answers every call. I let God, then I let go, releasing into source. When I let go and I let God, I'm on a sacred course. I release my word to spirit and to universal law. I release my word to the energy as I'm held in sacred awe. I let God, then I let go, releasing into source. When I let go and I let God, I'm on a sacred course. I let God, then I let go. I let go and I let God. I let God, then I let go. I let go, then I let God. I let God, then I let go. And so it is. All right. So I want to go over the story behind the hymn, Amazing Grace. You all know that song, right? Okay. Written almost 2.5 centuries ago in 1772, the words for the beloved song were born from the heart, mind, and experiences of Englishman John Newton. And knowing the story of John Newton's life as a slave trader and the journey he went through before writing the hymn will help to understand the depth of his words and the gratefulness for God's truly amazing grace. So having lived through a rather unfortunate and troubled childhood, his mother passed away when he was only 6 years old. Newton spent years fighting against authority. I know what that's like. Going so far as trying to desert the Royal Navy in his 20s and later abandoned by his crew in West Africa. He was forced to be a servant to a slave trader, but was eventually rescued. On the return voyage to England, a violent storm hit and almost sank the ship, prompting Newton to begin his spiritual conversion as he cried out to God to see, he let go, and he's like, God, cried out to God to save them from the storm. So you talk about a breakdown. Whew. And upon his return, however, Newton himself became a slave ship master, a profession in which he served for several years, bringing slaves from Africa to England over multiple trips. He admitted to sometimes treating the slaves abhorrently. And in 1754, after becoming violently ill on another sea voyage, Newton abandoned his life as a slave trader, the slave trade, seafaring altogether, and wholeheartedly devoted his life to God's service. So he had to have 2 bad breakdowns to have a breakthrough. He was ordained as an Anglican priest in 1764 and became quite popular as a preacher and hymn writer. He wrote about 280 hymns, among them the great Amazing Grace. It was later set to the popular tune, New Britain, in 1835 by William Walker. So in later years, Newton fought alongside William Wilberforce, a leader of the parliamentary campaign to abolish the African slave trade. He described the horrors of the slave trade in a tract he wrote supporting the campaign and lived to see the British passage of the Slave Trade Act in 1807. So I'm going to sing a couple verses of Amazing Grace. And you're welcome to sing along, but we're going to sing the original word that saved a wretch like me, because he acted wretchedly. And he cried out to God, and God showed him who he was. Amazing grace, how to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear, the hour I first believed. Through many dangers, toils, and snares, I have already come. 'Tis grace has brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home. Let's do the first verse again. Let me hear you sing it. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I am found. Was blind, but now I see. Okay, yay! All right. So something really sad happened to me this past winter, and a really, really good friend of mine decided that he didn't want to be my friend anymore. And it was just so interesting because I've been friends with him since the 90s, and real close friendship, and with him and his wife. And it was hard for me to really get it. He said to me, when I'm around you, it makes my skin crawl because you remind me of my mother, or something like that, right? I'm like, well, it sounds like a personal problem. Because I've just felt so safe to be myself around him. And, you know, I really believe that it's a phase, because this person does what I do, travels around and teaches new thought, philosophy, but is not a science of mind practitioner, so it's a little bit different. But it was really, really challenging for that to happen to me, and I couldn't really do anything about it, and I just had to allow it, accept, adapt and adjust, as my adopted Jewish mom would say, adapt and adjust. Right? And then it's easy to accept it. Acceptance, it doesn't mean we like it, we accept that it happened, and move on as best as possible. But I got a really good song out of it. It's called Because. And when I did tell this person this idea, wouldn't buy it, but I don't know any New Thought minister that would argue with, when that punchline comes, you'll know what it is. When you witness something that makes your skin crawl, or when you're hearing something that makes you want to bawl, when you might have a feeling that brings on some fear, that's when the choices appear. That's when an answer is near. Because we are each at cause because of immutable law. Because, be the cause what I know to be true. What we're looking at, we're looking through, right? What we're looking at, we're looking through. He didn't buy it. But I did. So the second verse is in the first person. When I witness something that makes my skin crawl, or when I'm hearing something that makes me wanna bawl, when I might have a feeling that brings on some fear, that's when the choices appear. That's when an answer is near. Because we are each at cause, because of immutable laws. Because, be the cause what I know to be true. What we're looking at, we're looking through. What we're looking at, we're looking through. We can take responsibility for what we attract. It may not be so easy to change how we react. It's work to take a moral inventory. When I point at you, it comes back to me. Just like the boomerang that love appears to be, or the echo of negative emotionality. Because we are each at cause, because of immutable laws. Because, be the cause what I know to be true. What we're looking at, we're looking through. 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 One more. Okay, thank you. And it's very cathartic to do songwriting or journaling or haiku. When something like that happens, and you get used to it. Whatever. So when COVID happened, man, what a gift that for me. I mean, I have deep empathy for people who were sick or lost someone. I actually had COVID a couple times, but I found a gift in it the first time I had it. You know, I used to have a cat, and I would give her half a can of, like the little cans of Fancy Feast. You get half of that one day, and the second half the next day. And I had a special lid for the can. And I opened this can of whitefish and tuna, and it smelled so bad. It was like, oh, I'm never buying this one again. And you know, and I had tested positive for COVID. And so the next day, I'm saying, let's see if I really have COVID. I couldn't smell it. It was great, you know, it was okay. There's a gift. Find the gift, find the gift. I mean, there's always something to be grateful for, right? So what happened was, right when COVID happened in like March of 2020, and they closed the YMCA, and I couldn't do Pilates reformer, and I couldn't do aerobics classes. So my husband got my bicycle out that I hadn't ridden in maybe 5 times in the past 20 years. And I used to take my bike with me on tour. And so I started riding the bicycle every morning for about an hour. And I was also, I was singing at Unity in Sarasota for the Wednesday nights, sometimes 4 times a month, because she would only allow about the same 10 people in the building, because we would go and do this music and inspiration, and it would be broadcast. So, you know, the people on the cameras, the ministers, and so I got to sing a lot. And so that whole service, that whole Wednesday night service was created around whatever the daily word was at the time. So I had to come up with 4 songs. And so I wrote so many songs, and I'm on that bicycle, and even though I'm out in public, it's solitude. Same thing with swimming. I really swam a lot. And to be in solitude and just be in your own thoughts, that's a way of meditating. That's a way to be open to listening. And I swim almost every morning now, and I'm in there, like, there's people around me, and I don't even get my hair wet. I have 2 big fat foam dumbbells, and I work my arms, and I do yoga poses and stretches. It's so fantastic. But when I'm in there, most of the time, I'm singing, and I'm singing prayers. And it's really helped me to keep my vibration high. And as a result of, you know, you sing, it's like, it's not just the words are being thought of or stated, they're also being sung, and you can hear them, and the body vibrates with the music. So that's a really good way to raise your vibratory rate. And we're talking about breakdowns and breakthroughs. So I was on my bicycle this one morning, and I rode by the levee. We have one of those in Sarasota. And something kind of came over me. I saw some people down a ways, and there's not usually people on the levee. And this thought came to me, and it was, well, if they mug me, they'll get my cell phone and $20. And it's like, where did that come from? What? And that's what's known as race consciousness. It means the human race. Like, we're born into, oh, my mother had this disease, so that means I might get. It doesn't mean that. It's like what we teach in my path of New Thought philosophy is principle is not bound by precedent. So just because it always happened before doesn't mean it has to continue to happen. We are at choice. We can choose to have breakthrough. And so I got up, and I noticed it was a man and a woman, and he was walking about 3 steps ahead of her. And so I think were having an argument. And I may have picked up some of the negative vibes. I don't know, but to have that thought was, when I was like, cancel, cancel. I never do cancel, cancel. I'm like, cancel, cancel. And so I got into that, and the way I am on the bike, I'm like, good morning. And so I said, good morning. And it was as if I wasn't even there. And so, you know, the Jersey girl in me, and I don't know if they heard me, and I don't care, but I said, what am I, invisible? And then right after I said that, this song came out, and it's called An Invisible Woman. I'm an invisible woman. I'm an invisible woman. I'm an invisible woman, and I got superpowers. Let's try that part. I'm an invisible woman. I'm an invisible woman. I'm an invisible woman, and I got superpowers. My power is my consciousness. My power is my happiness. My power is my gratefulness. My power is my gracefulness. My power is my mindfulness. My power is my joyfulness. My power is my peacefulness. Flowing in and out of bliss. share and the grace I show bring me to that sacred flow. I know how to shift and grow. I'm an empowered woman. Life is full of challenges, and life is a game that can be played, turning lemons to lemonade, and I'm an empowered woman. My power is my easefulness. My power is releasing stress. My power brings me great success. My power helps me decompress. As I trust the process, I invoke my faithfulness. My power is my lovingness, flowing in and out of bliss. I'm an invisible woman. I'm an invisible woman. I'm an invisible woman. I got superpower. I got superpower. I got superpower. Okay. Oh yeah. So I'm sorry we're going over a few minutes, but I had permission. So Roger, come on up. It's the last song of the program. And Pete, come on up here. And this one is called Breakthrough. And when that was one of the daily words, it was breakthrough. And so I wrote this song. And some of you know that I used to be married to an oldies DJ. And as a result of those 7 years, I have embodied doo-wop. There's a little doo-wop-y sound. There was a breakdown in my expectations with a face frown. I was feeling desperation, looking for that shiny pearl. Then I found my inner world, deep inside and through and through. And as I entered sacred space, feeling centered in this place, there was a breakthrough, revealing what is true, a sacred breakthrough. I got a new point of view. There was a breakthrough, a breakthrough, breaking through and through. There was a breakdown. Everything went wrong, and with a face frown, I began to write this song, looking for that shiny pearl. Then I found my inner world, deep inside and through and through. And as I entered sacred space, and feeling centered in this place, there was a breakthrough, revealing what is true, a sacred breakthrough. I got a new point of view. There was a breakthrough, a breakthrough, breaking through and through. There's some confusion, the seeming limitation. It's just an illusion, the sense of separation. We're always changing and growing into more. Life's a rearranging metaphor. There's some confusion, the seeming limitation. It's just an illusion, the sense of separation. We're always changing and growing into more. Life's a rearranging metaphor. It took a shakedown to bring me back to me. This latest breakdown has really set me free, 'cause I found my inner Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Elaine. You can clap now.
Because sometimes you just have to. Is this where we're at?
Okay, that's where we're at.
Oh, well, yes. Thank you so much, Elaine, for sharing your presence, and thank all of you for your presence. And we're at that place in our service where our lovely ushers, Deb and Tim Segrist today, are going to come around with their butterfly nets to catch your love offerings. And as always, the starting point is gratitude. It is a sense of gratitude for what you bring to this community by being here, whether it is your first time here in a long time, or you are here every week. Your presence makes such a difference. And so does your love offering. It is what helps us to take what we receive as a community to send back out into the world. We tithe 10% of what we take in to continue that flow of divine love that is so foundational to who we are as a community. So I thank you, and the board thanks you, and just what a gift it is to be a part of this path together. And one of my favorite, initially when I first started here almost 2 years ago, one of the prayers that really moved me was this. It used to be called the offering statement, but one day in a hurry Phil changed that to blessing, because really it is a blessing. It is the reminder that we are blessed to be in that flow. We give and receive in that flow. And so before the butterfly nets come around to catch that, let's land in that blessing together. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. We are blessed to know that Spirit is our source. Thank you, Father, Mother God. And so it is. Amen.
Use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. We used to think God was the sun, God is the sun, but God's so much more than the earth and the stars and all of creation. God is creator, all in all, needing us to shine its light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here all about as you show me all that I must do. Command my hands, what must they do? Command my life, it's here for you. God is the love that heals all creation. God is creator, makes all things new. And God needs us to shine its light as me, as you. So
So we stand shining, grateful for these gifts that we know God entrusts us to be the light, the peace, the love that transforms the world. May we use these gifts well. And so it is. Amen. So you can stand or sit, whatever. If you're ready to stand and wiggle, you can stay standing. We're going to say together our prayer of protection, and then we're going to sing again, I believe. Is that correct? Yes. So before we say our prayer of protection, I invite you to bring to your heart, your mind, all that you carry that you want to wrap in this prayer of protection. The people you love, the people that are a challenge in your life, the situations that call out for healing. And this is the way that God asks us to shine. God is in all of us, but we are not, any of us, the totality of God on our own, and yet we are. It's that beautiful paradox and mystery. Feel that presence emanating from every cell in your being. And we hold together all that is in our hearts as we say, the light of God surrounds us. We are the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. We are the love of God. The power of God protects us. We are the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. We are the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. We are unrepeatable expressions of the divine. And so it is. Amen.
Yeah, we're each unique, just like everybody else. That's Alan Cohen. You're unique, just like everybody else. Da, 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 da. Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Oh, oh. Imagine there's no country. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for, and no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I am not the only one. I hope someday you will join us, and the world will live as one. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. Different here. No need for greed or hunger. It's a family of man and woman. Imagine all the people sharing beautiful consciousness of John Lennon and Ernest Holmes and the Fillmores and Emerson and Curtis Hopkins, all those people that are the roots of our beautiful technology. Imagine knowing oneness, spirit runs through you and me. We demonstrate our power as we create reality. Imagine all the people living as the light. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I am not the only one. I know someday you will join us, and the world will live as one. And the world will live as. We have to do it in present tense. And the world, it lives as one. Two more of those. And the world, it lives as one. And the world, it lives as one. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. Live as one. Yeah. Na, 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 na. Live as one. Live as one.
Judy, 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 Judy.
All right, last one. Na, 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 na. Live as one. Na, 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 na. Live as one.
Come back tonight to see Elaine in concert at 7 o'clock.
Thanks, Elaine. Thanks, Elaine.